the session. So I am pleased to introduce Ms. Lisa Bella, our Document Control Officer and Internal Auditor, who will be participating in a specialized training on ISO 10013-2021 Guidelines for Documented Information. So this training is designed to strengthen her expertise in establishing, maintaining, and improving effective documentation systems that support our Integrated Management System, or IMS. The program specifically covers the application of ISO 10013-2021 in relation to requirements such as QMS, EMS, and health and safety management. Through this training, Ms. Lisa Bella will enhance her knowledge and skills and document control, standardization, and internal auditing practices, enabling her to ensure that our organization's documented information remains accurate, compliant, and aligned with international standards. This initiative reflects our commitment to continuous improvement, regulatory compliance, and operational excellence. So as we go along, please feel free to take notes or any questions, clarifications. Sorry, wala pala akong camera. There, sorry. So as we go along, please feel free to take notes or any questions, clarifications, or any other concerns that may come up to mind. We will be happy to answer that in Q&A portion at the end. So I strongly agree and encourage everyone to participate, and please don't hesitate to raise your hands for your questions, and your insights and inquiries will help to make our this session or this training more meaningful and interactive for everyone. So again, please get ready and keep your notes handy, and let's have productive and engaging training session tonight. So Ms. Isabella, I'm giving the floor.
Hello! Okay. Hello everyone, good evening. Naririnig ba ako ng malinaw? So ayun, thank you Miss Rina. So good evening sa inyong lahat. And welcome sa ating webinar. So I'm so grateful kasi naka-attend kayong lahat ngayon. So maaga pa kasi parang ito yung early dinner natin. So bago tayo mag-dive in, so quick check muna tayo. Please type 1 sa chat box if brand new ka sa ISO. And you are starting from 0. Type 2 ka naman kung nakapagtrabaho ka na sa isang organizations or nagtatrabaho ka sa company mo na may ISO standard pero nandito ka to level up. And type 3 kung meron kang alam na konti about ISO pero hindi ka pa ganun ka-confident. So type 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Okay. Meron tayong mga 3 sa participants, may 1. So whether 1, 2, or 3 ang sinagot mo, tonight is for you. So nandito tayo, nag-come up tayo dito sa webinar session for tonight because most of our clients, nahihirapan sila sa mga documentation system nila. So yung iba meron, pero hirap pa din. Yung iba naman ay totally zero at gusto nilang matuto. So katulad din ninyo, so itong webinar session na ito for tonight is for you. So this is designed for you talaga. So for tonight, sa screen natin, Nandiyan yung ISO 10,013-2021 guidelines for documented information. Ano ba yan? So kasi yung yung ISO 10,013-2021 is a guideline. Ito yung nagga-guide, nagko-cover sa lahat ng ISO standard na meron ang mga organization. So kung yung iba familiar na sa ISO 9001-2015, ISO 14001 and ISO 45001. So, makikita natin yan, malalaman natin yung kung para saan. So, tonight, malalaman nyo and malalaman nyo how to build one integrated system sa organizations nyo. So, next slide. Wait lang. So, yung next slide natin, what you will master tonight. So, wait lang. Hello, hello. Sorry, may interruption tayo na konti ha. Hello sa mga bagong pasok. So, kanina meron tayong question about ISO standard. Sino dito yung sa mga bagong pasok, sino dito yung mga wala pang experience sa ISO? So, mag-type 1 ka. Type 2 if mag-type 2 ka kung
Sorry everyone for the technical difficulties. So we just wrap this up. Let's start within 2 minutes. Sorry again for the inconvenience. And for those who haven't answered the poll yet, ISO documentation maturity level. What is your current ISO documentation maturity level? There is only one choice. So first one is no documentation yet. So yung wala pa talagang implementation or wala pang nangyayari sa company within your company or organization. Basic forms and procedures only. So you're implementing it. Maybe you're not aware. So you have your basic forms, procedures na ginagamit na currently. So 3, existing ISO documents but inconsistent. So you're implementing it. However, there are times na nakakalimutan gamitin. Sometimes it takes too much time to use it or implement. So maybe that's why there's inconsistency. And then fourth is preparing for certification. So for sure, for this one, nagamit nyo na siya, nag-i-implement na kayo. That's why you're preparing. So before naman magpa-certify, syempre, ginagamit nyo na siya para smooth na siya and you have your forms na procedures ready na and all. So number 5 is already certified but still improving. So meron na kayong certification and still improving. And then the last one, meron na kayong integration management system which already been implemented, which is the QMS, EMS, and yung health and safety or any other ISO pa. So yun. Please answer the poll. Thank you so much.
Lisa, wala kang audio.
Hello! I'm back. Thank you. Sorry naman sa technical issues.
Lisa, wala kang audio. Ayan. Ay, Miss Lisa, may naririnig kayo na audio? Meron ba?
Wala po.
Wala,
Wala.
wala. Wala.
Hello? Clear na ba?
Ayan, clear naman, clear.
Clear? Sound clear?
Clear na po.
Ayan, sorry naman. So, let's proceed. So, tonight, you will learn how to build one integrated system na nagko-cover sa lahat ng ISO standard na meron sa screen ninyo, which is the ISO 9001, the QMS, and the ISO 14001, the environmental management, and the ISO 45001, which is the health and safety management. So, let me ask you lang kung alin dito sa tatlong ito ang medyo familiar kayo. Type 1, kung QMS, type 2, kung environmental management, and type 3 kung health and safety. Okay. Okay, madaming nakakaalam talaga sa QMS kasi most of the organizations talaga ito talaga yung ginagamit nila. So first, dun sa iba naman na hindi pa masyadong aware sa ISO, let me introduce lang sa inyo ng very, very short. So ang ISO 9000 Quality Management System is all about quality management. So basically, this is the standard na ginagamit ng mga world-class organizations about sa para makatiyak na yung mga product and services na meron sila ay sa isang company ay consistent and high quality. So, ayun yung ISO 9001. So, ISO 14001, this is environmental management. So, meaning the company is responsible sa pag-aalaga ng kalikasan natin. So, yung mga proper waste disposal and yung using ng renewable energy and reducing ng pollution. So, itong standard na to yung meron sila sa organization. So, yung pangatlo, yung ISO 45001, this is health and safety management naman. So, mostly sa mga organizations na meron ito ay yung mga constructions. So, this make sure naman na bawat worker ay safe sa workplace. So, walang accident, walang hazards. So, these three standards naman is working together. So, quality is for our customer, environment is for our planet, and health and safety naman is for our people. So, next slide. Uh, So, this slide, what you will master tonight. So, we have here sa screen, five reasons that you will master tonight. So, number one is yung why system fails. So, dito natin hahanapin ang root causes. Bakit ba nag-fail ang documentation system kahit may documents naman ang isang organizations? So, second, yung IMS architecture. So, dito tayo magbibuild ng world-class IMS. Na isang unified system na nagko-cover sa lahat ng ISO standard na sinabi ko kanina. And then pangatlo, yung document hierarchy. This is the 4-level documentation pyramid. Ito yung 4-level documentation na nandito pumapasok yung policy, yung company policy, yung procedures, work instruction forms, etc. So dito yon. Pang-apat naman yung practical setup. So dito tayo maging hands-on. Kasi ang goal natin ay mag-set up ng documentation system na world-class ang gumagamit. So, at ang panghuli, syempre yung best practices. So, i-apply natin yung ISO 10013 2021 sa dito sa na ginagamit ng mga real world. Okay, so na-identify natin yung problem. So, magbi-build tayo ng system. I-identify natin yung problem sa documentation system. Magbi-build tayo ng world-class system. And then, i-apply natin yung mga best practices. So, yun yung flow natin ngayon. So, let's proceed. So, at your screen, nakikita nyo yung business risk of poor documentation. So, kapag may mga tanong pala kayo sa slides, pwede kayong mag-take down notes sa notebooks nyo because we have Q&A portion at the end of this webinar. So, sasagutin natin lahat ng yan. Okay, so business risk of poor documentation. So, example, audit findings. So, number one yung audit findings. So, ang example, for example, dyan ay yung BIR. Sinong naka-experience na mapuntahan kayo ng BIR or ma-audit kayo ng BIR? Sige nga, raise your hand or type 1. Usually, yung mga BIR na yan, pupunta sa mga offices, sa mga company. So, mag-audit sila. Ang example ng audit findings, kapag naghanap si BIR ng mga records, ng mga documents, at hindi nila nahanap yun, at hindi nyo napakita yun sa kanila, magkakaroon kayo ng audit findings. So, yun ang audit findings. So, nakaka-affect yun syempre sa business ninyo, sa documentation system ninyo. Yun. So, number 2, yung compliance risk. So, syempre, na-audit ka ni VIR. Ano ang kasunod? So, compliance risk. Magkakaroon ka naman ng regulatory fines. At sobrang magastos yun. Ayaw natin nun. So, technically, kapag nagkaroon ka ng compliance risk, parang lumalabag ka na sa kanila. Meron kang multa, yung iba nagkakaroon ng multa, yung iba nagkakaroon ng suspension ng operations nila, yung iba naman totally nawawala yung license nila sa negosyo nila, 'di ba? So number 3, customer complaints. Example, nag-order yung customer mo ng item na dapat ay blue and medium. Pero ang prepare ng production ninyo ay red at large. So, yun ang customer complaints. Siyempre, di ba, kung ikaw ang umorder, magagalit ka. At kapag halimbawa, paulit-ulit na nangyayari yun, mawawala yung tiwala sa inyo ng customer. At kapag nawala yung tiwala sa inyo ng customer, possible, mawala din ng business ninyo kasi wala na nagtitiwala sa inyo. So, that's the example of customer complaints. Number 4, yung delays and reworks. So, dahil may customer complaints, kung bakit nagkaroon ng customer complaints, dahil nga sa rework. Kailangan ulit-ulitin yung trinabaho na ng person 1, tatrabahuhin ulit ni person 2. Kasi nga, wala siyang proper na work instruction na sinusunod. Sorry. So, dito sa delay and reworks, most of the organizations, nakaka-relate sila dito kasi ang nasasayang dito sa rework ay number 1, yung money, yung oras, and yung people. Siyempre, lugi doon ang kumpanya, lugi doon ang organizations. Kaya ayaw natin yan ng delay and rework. So number 5 yung safety incidents. So ito yung pinaka medyo worst sa lahat kasi 'di ba? Halimbawa niyan yung mga organizations na merong mga chemicals. For example, syempre yung person 1, dahil nga wala kang proper documentation, so wala kang work instruction kung paano gawin, kung paano buksan, halimbawa, yung isang chemical sa isang company. So ano nangyari? Na-aksidente siya, nadula siya, or nagkasakit siya, na-expose siya sa chemicals. So hindi to simpleng papel lang yung safety incident kasi buhay ang pinag-uusapan dito ng mga president, ng mga CEOs ng organizations. Dahil wala kang safety standards, dahil nga wala kang documentation or poor yung documentation mo, gastos ka na naman. So yung number 6, yung knowledge loss. So most of the organizations, for example, yung isang tenured senior na employee ninyo na nakakaalam ng lahat ng process na ito, for example, kapag umalis siya, kasama niya lahat ng knowledge na meron siya about dun sa organization. So, yung sunod na person na i-hire mo is starting from zero again nang dahil lang sa hindi mo na documents, hindi mo na record yung ginagawa ng tenured person mo bago siya umalis. Kasi nga wala kang documentation. So, yung papalit na tao dun sa nag-resign o nag-retired na employee mo is starting from zero again. Kasi nga wala kang documentation. So, ang pinaka-bottom line lang naman dito, ang documentation ay hindi siya red tape. Okay? Hindi siya pag-aaksaya ng oras lang. Kasi this is your protection sa iyong company, sa inyong organization, protection ng employee, protection ng customer. Okay? Kung wala kang documentation, so wala kang evidence, wala kang patunay. Okay, let's go to the next slide. So, why most documentation system fails? Bakit nga ba? Bakit nagfe-fail ang documentation system kahit may document system naman ang isang organization? Okay? Now, meron tayong 4 na reasons why dito sa ating screen. Number 1, yung excessive and unnecessary documents. Yung mga documents ninyo ay, sino nakaka-relate dito? Yung mga documents ninyo naka-save sa desktop and nasa desktop lang. Nasa desktop lang. Ikaw lang ang nakakaalam, hindi na-open ng ibang tao. So, ang excessive and unnecessary documents, wala kayong centralized na system or for example, Google Drive, hindi siya na-access ng mga employee or yung mga documents ninyo nakakalat sa iba't ibang klaseng desktop. Iba't iba kayo ng version ng documents. So, yung number 2, employees don't use the system. Bakit nga ba hindi ginagamit ng mga employees natin yung system na meron kayo, yung existing ninyo na system? Siguro dahil confusing sa kanila or hindi nyo na proper orient, hindi nyo na proper communicate sa kanila na ito na yung bago, this is the latest version, ito ang kailangan nating sundin. Kaya siguro hindi nila sinusunod yung system. So ang example ko dyan, if you have a documentation system na in your organizations, if the SOPs ay if nag-revise ka ng SOPs, kapag ito ay minor, you have to memo it sa inyong mga employee. And kapag major naman, pag sinabing major, ito yung malaki yung binago ninyo sa documentation, sa process. So, you need to orient your people para alam nila kung ano yung nangyari, kung ano yung bago nilang susundin. So, ifa-follow nila yung system na in-implement mo. Okay, so yung number 3, yung no version control. Walang control sa system. Kasi hindi nila alam yung kung nasan yung bago, yung mga new SOPs, kung saan yung luma na SOPs. Kasi nga walang version control, lahat nakakapag-edit, lahat nakakapag-rename, lahat nakakapag-download. So, anytime pwede nilang i-edit, pwede nilang baguhin kasi nga wala kayong no version control system, wala kayong control sa system ninyo. So, number 4, yung docs created only for certification. Most of our clients, ganito talaga ang nangyayari sa kanila. Ito kasi yung pinaka-common trap sa organizations. Kasi, for example, you build a very, very beautiful, detailed documentation system para lang sa audit, para lang ma-certify, para sa ISO, para sa certification. After that, wala na. Hindi na ginamit yung documents. So, na-abandon na. So, meron silang documentation system na binigay ng kanilang, for example, ng AI. For example, galing sa AI, yung documentation system nila. So, hindi nila alam kung yung dinownload nila sa AI o yung pinagawa nila or yung dinownload nilang documentation system ay actual ba doon sa present na ginagawa nila, na practices nila. So, this is the very common trap talaga sa mga, mostly, ito ay sa mga aming clients. Ito talaga yung nangyayari sa kanila. So, sige nga, mag-quick interaction tayo sa chat. So, alin dito sa 4 na to, yung medyo close to home, medyo nakaka-relate kayo na ito yung nangyayari sa inyo? Sige nga, type 1, 2, 1 kung excessive, 2 kung hindi ginagamit ng employee niyo yung system, number 3 kung walang version control, 4 kung meron kayong docs pero for certification only. Pwedeng kung lahat yan nakaka-relate kayo, pwedeng i-type nyo lahat. Ayan, di ba? All. Kasi nga hindi pa tayo aware sa documentation system. So ngayon, kahit ano pa man ang sinagot nyo diyan, isa lang ang goal natin ngayon, makapag-build tayo ng isang unified documentation system. So now, na-identify natin kanina yung problem. So kaya naman tayo nandito. So now, let's move forward and talk about what's an effective, people-centered documentation system actually look like. Kung paano nga ba siya? So let's go to the next slide. So ayan, this is the best practices ng mga world-class organizations. So from the title itself, what world-class organizations do differently sa atin? So we have here sa screen yung 4 na reasons why. Okay, kanina na-identify natin yung problem, na-identify natin yung cause. So now, let's talk about naman sa solution. Okay? Kung ano yung ginagawa ng mga world-class na organization. So, sige nga, nakikita nyo sa screen nyo yung 1, 2, 3, 4. Alin dito sa 4 na to yung ginagawa ng organizations na ninyo? Or kung meron, type 1, 2, 3, 4. Kung wala, no. Sige. Ayan. Mas maganda yan yung nag-uumpisa kayo sa wala kasi dito natin ikaklaruhin lahat. Dito, pag naano nyo to mamaya, maintindihan niyo na lahat kung ano ba yung ginagawa ng mga world-class organizations. Kasi may documentation system naman kami, may mga documents kami, may mga records kami, pero bakit gano'n paulit-ulit yung cycle? Meron pa din kaming mga complaints, ayun. So, kahit anong sinagot niyo diyan, that's exactly bakit tayo nandito. So, number 1, yung Integrated Management System, yung IMS. This is the one unified system. This is what I'm talking about kanina pa for ISO standard. So, instead na tatlong hiwalay na system, ang ginawa ng ISO para sa 9001, 14001, and 45001, ginawa niyang isa na lang. Ito yung Integrated Management System or yung IMS. Bakit isa na lang? Para one master system na lang, one source of truth, sabi ni ISO, para mas madaling i-manage, tsaka mas madaling i-audit. Okay? So number 2, yung process-based approach, focus on workflow efficiency and consistency. So most of organizations, dinodocument nila, most ng mga organizations, nagdo-document sila by department. So ang ginagawa ng mga world-class organizations, organizations documented by process. So ang mga world-class pala na organizations, hindi sila nagdo-document by department. Ang ginagawa nila, they document per process. So from input to output, from requirements to customer satisfaction, syempre. Number 3, yung risk-based thinking. So, yung managing risk and opportunities proactively. So, your document shouldn't just describe what you do. Okay? They should reflect what could go wrong and how you prevent it. Kasi when documents are built around risk, they become genuinely useful. Okay? Hindi lang compliance paperwork. Kapag yung documents mo, kapag yung SOP mo, procedure mo, is you build it around risk, they become genuinely useful. Kasi makikita mo na dun sa procedure kung ano ang possible na risk na mangyayari. And meron ka na dong action points dun sa procedure na yon, sa specific procedure na meron kayo. So, yung number 4, yun yung ginagawa ng mga world-class na organizations. And yung number 4, yung digital first system. Okay. Madami siguro makaka-relate dito. Kasi hindi na ngayon panahon ng mga paper binders. Okay? So, a digital system means your team finds any documents within seconds. Siyempre, nakikita nila nakukuha nila kung ano yung latest version ng documents. Kasi nga, digital system na. And nakikita mo din kung sino yung may-ari, sino yung process owner, sino yung nag-update, sino ang nag-upload. Ayun, so world-class organizations don't have better documentation because they have more resources. They made deliberate choice to simplify, to integrate, and align their documents with their actual work. Yun yung ginagawa nila. Kasi mostly sa mga organizations, wala silang procedures, wala silang SOPs. Usually, kung ano yung nandyan, trabahuhin mo na. Yung mga world class pala, ito pala yung ginagawa nila. Okay? So, let's go to the next slide. Ayan. Documentation pyramid. This is the 4-level hierarchy of documented information. Favorite ko tong slide na to kasi I'm not gonna lie. Sorry for those na late kanina. So siguro mag-extend tayo ng mga 20 minutes kasi nagkaroon tayo ng technical issues kanina. Is it okay? Type nga kayo sa thumbs up nga kayo sa chat box. Okay, so let's proceed. The documentation pyramid, this is the four-level hierarchy of documented information. So the first, kapag naintindihan nyo to, itong hierarchy na to, yung sinasabi ko kanina pa na documented information, magkiklik to sa inyo. Mas magigets nyo. So, favorite ko tong slide na to eh. So yung level 1, this is the quality policy and IMS manual. This is the strategic direction. So ito yung nasa top ng pyramid. Basically, this is your why and what sa organizations ninyo. Ano ang commitments natin? For example, ano ang scope? How does the management system look like at the higher level? So this quality policy usually hindi siya madalas magbago because this is usually signed by the top management for the CEO, presidents, founders. So sila ang gumagawa nito. This quality policy and IMS manual, this set stones below sa everything. Okay, parang ang example ko dito is parang constitution ng organization. So ano siya, broad, foundational, and binibuild siya to last. So level 2, procedure, how processes are managed. So this describe your how. How naman, kung ang quality policy kanina ay ang ano mo, yung why at what, yung procedure mo naman ang iyong how. So, ang procedure, yung, for example, purchasing procedure, paano mag-purchase ng item. Doon naka-identify sa procedure, sa SOPs na yon kung paano mag-purchase ng item, how to identify the suppliers, yung mga pasok na suppliers sa inyong sa inyong organizations, yun yung procedures. So level 3, yung work instruction, this is the step-by-step naman, task guidance. So kung ang procedure ay ng purchasing procedure ay how to purchase item, nakalagay sa work instruction naman, step 1, tatawagan mo si ganyan, i-email mo sa ganyan. Step 2, so yung work instruction, doon naka-indicate yung step by step, detailed ng iyong procedure. Okay? So usually yan ay magkadikit talaga silang dalawa. So yung level 4 is your forms and records. So this is the evidence of conformance. From the word itself, this is your evidence. Kapag dumating ang auditor, itong forms and records ang ipapakita mo sa kanila kasi basically this is your proof. This is your evidence na nangyari ang isang bagay. Kasi yung procedure mo, meron kang SOPs, meron kang procedures, meron kang work instruction. So, ang forms and records is yun ang evidence mo na every task ay na-execute. Kasi yung mga forms mo na na-filled out, yun na yung iyong records. Yun yung iyong proof. Okay? Sige nga. Honest question lang ulit. Dito from level 1 to 4, alin dito sa organizations nyo ang meron na, pero mostly pala sa inyo ay wala. Pero sige nga, baka meron kayo, pero hindi lang siya ginagamit or outdated siya. Okay, may procedures. Okay, so now na we have structured. So let's talk about how you actually keep alive from day to day. Kasi having this pyramid in your organization is only one thing. Pero maintaining it, yun yung real question. What's the real documentation control? So, dyan napapasok ang totoong documentation control system. So, let's proceed. Ayan. The document life cycle. So, before anything else na magkaroon ka ng documentation system, you need to identify muna, you need to know sa organizations ninyo or you need to hire someone na i-appoint mo as your document control staff. dapat sa organizations nyo, ma-identify ninyo sino ang maghahawak ng documentation system. Kasi hindi kayo magkakaroon ng documentation system, mahirap magkaroon kung ikaw lang ang gagawa. Kailangan ma-identify mo sa inyong organizations sino ba sa mga ito ang i-appoint ko na document control staff. Because siya ang gagawa ng lahat ng ito sa document life cycle. Okay? So kanina nakita natin yung pyramid. So alam na natin 'yan. But here's the next question. Once ang document ay nag-i-exist na, how does it actually live? So, how does it get created? Paano ba yon? So, let's go. Step 1, creation. Dito nagsisimula lahat. Okay? So, someone identify the needs, someone find a new requirements or find a new improvement in the process. So, magkakaroon tayo ng document draft. From the word, keyword ay draft. Draft pa lang siya, hindi pa to official, hindi pa to usable. This is just the starting point. So, this document draft has to go to the next step para before anyone acts on it. Okay, are we clear? Creation, draft. So, ayun. So, step 2, review. So, ngayon, yung draft goes to the relevant person, goes to the process owner, goes to the department head or QA team, whatsoever, whoever the knowledge and authority to check that documents if the document is complete and accurate to the actual practices. Okay? That's usually dito nakikita ang errors ng isang draft documents before the document reaches anyone on the floor. Okay? So, critical tong step na to kasi baka mamaya makalampas dun sa nag-check or dun sa process owner. So, kaya dapat ang mag-check, ang magre-review ng draft ninyo ay have the knowledge and authority to check that documents. Okay? So, we go to the step 3. This is the approval. So, this is the formal sign-off na. So, usually, management and authorized approver. Usually, ang nag-a-approve nito ay President and CEO. Okay? For example, na-approve na ang document. So, it becomes official na. So, it carries authority. Now na may sign-off na ng President, it carries authority. Ito na ang dapat sundin ng anyone on the floor or your employees. So, pero before approval, it needs to be on record. So, syempre, dapat may signature ng President and CEO that na this document is now approved and it carries authority now. So, pwedeng digital stamp na ng President or sa system log. So, example ko dito, hindi pwedeng sinabi ng boss mo na, okay, yan na, yung procedure na yan ang masusunod. Hindi pwedeng ganun. Dapat merong signature, digital signature, whatsoever, handprint na signature. Basta it carries the signature approved ng president and ng authority. So it become official na yung documents mo. So number 4, the release, step 4. So after na ma-approve yung documents, now it's made available to the people who need it. So this is where the digital system becomes so important sa ating organizations. So before the release, kanina sinabi ko, kapag may mga bagong processes, SOPs, documents na nirelease sa isang organization, you need to tell the people, you need to communicate to the people via memo, via email, or via orientation para mas alam ng mga tao kung ano ang tungkol do sa documents na nirelease mo. Kasi pwedeng gawin mo yan lahat, pero hindi naman alam ng tao, wala din. Walang silbi yung ginawa mo. So, that's the step 4, the release. So, step 5, yung revision. Okay, process change na. For example, regulations update na. Improvements are found dun sa process. Now, the documents need to be updated. Okay? So, goes back to the step 1 sa creation. So, may bagong draft, i-review ulit, i-approve ulit, i-release ulit. So, cycle repeats itself. So, the document is revised and cycle repeats. Okay? Okay, sige nga. Let me ask you, meron ba sa organizations ninyo na meron na kayong document controller? Document control staff. Meron na kayo? Sige nga, just type yes, no, or wala. Wala pa. Okay. Okay. Ulitin ko lang yung creation, this is your starting points. Yung review, this is the accuracy. So, i-take down notes nyo yan, baka mamaya malimutan nyo. So, ang approval is the authority. Yung release, this is the control. And yung revision is yun naman yung relevance. So, ma-skip, hindi mo pwedeng i-skip ang kahit na isa dito sa step 1 to 5. Okay? Kasi magkakaroon ka pa rin ng broken system documentation kapag in-skip mo one of these steps sa document life cycle. So, dito lang talaga siya umiikot. Okay, let's proceed to the next slides. Ayan. The recommended IMS folder structure. So ngayon, let's get practical, okay? So, kanina, nalaman natin yung documentation hierarchy, yung paggawa ng documents. Ngayon, baka tinatanong nyo, okay, nakagawa na kami ng documents, saan naman namin ilalagay yan? So, this is the recommended IMS folder structure. Usually, itong apat na to ang pinaka-basic, ang pinaka-kailangan talaga ng organization. So, yung mga world-class organizations, automatically, meron sila nitong apat na folder na to. Okay, and I want you to, to copy this kung gusto nyo ng ganong documentation system. So, okay. Let's begin the context and the folder 1, context and leadership. So nakalagay dyan sa context and leadership yung SWOT analysis, interested parties registered, IMS policy, organizational structure. Sa folder 2 naman, sa planning. So risk and opportunities registered ng company ninyo. So yung objectives and targets dito din nakalagay. This is your KPIs usually. This is your OTPs. So, sa pangatlo, yung compliance obligation. So, dyan din nakalagay yung compliance obligation, yan yung mga legal, yung mga regulatory, yung mga contractual. Ayan, so number 3, yung number 3 folder, the support, competency matrix, training records, document control procedures. So, ayan, dyan siya nakalagay. And number 4, yung operation, this is your core procedure, okay? Yung work instructions mo and yung supplier documents mo. Okay? So, mostly sa organizations ninyo, parang nakikita ko kasi sa chat box, halos lahat wala pa kayong document controller. So, usually wala din kayong ganitong setup ng IMS folder. So, itong apat na to pala this is non-negotiable. This is your starting point usually if you are about to create a document system. So let's proceed to the next slide. Okay, this slide is basically the heart of your document control. Sino sa inyo ang nakaranas mag-open ng documents sa desktop, for example? Sino dito nakaranas mag-open ng documents? Tapos, nagtataka ka kasi dalawa yung version ng SOP. Hindi mo alam kung alin doon sa dalawa yung latest version. Kasi nga naka-save lang siya meron kang isang naka-save na SOP sa desktop mo and then you download another one. So ngayon hindi mo na alam kung alin doon sa dalawang yun ang latest version. So yung practice 1 natin dito yung naming convention, number 2 version control, 3 approval workflow, master list, obsolete control, and controlled access. So yung number 1, kailangan yung document mo may identity. Okay? Number 2, version control, every time na nag-change ang documents, you need to record it. And number 3, yung approval workflow. This one is non-negotiable. Ito yung kanina na diniscuss natin, yung draft, review, approve, release. So practice 3, yung master list. Yung master list, for example, this is the census list. Okay, sino nakaranas dito ng census, ma-census sa bahay? So, yan ang example ng master list ng iyong documentation system. Nakalag dyan lahat ng mga documents mo from 1 to 2, lahat ng versions na nangyari, lahat kung kailan ang date, dyan nakalagay sa master list. So, practice 5, yung obsolete control, ito yung mga nabago na. Syempre, nabago na yung documents mo, so you need to obsolete it. So, dapat meron kang structured folder for that para hindi na siya kumalat, hindi siya magamit hindi magamit yung mga lumang versions na napalitan na. Okay? So, practice 6, yung controlled access. So, controlled access. So, not everyone ay may authority na makapag-edit ng certain documents na meron ng organizations ninyo. So, dito pumapasok yung controlled access. So, hindi lahat ng documents na meron kayo ay hindi dapat kayang ma-edit ng kahit na sino. Okay? So, let's go to the next slide. Dito ko i-explain. Kanina, di ba, meron tayong naming convention. That's the best practices. So, now let's actually show kung paano ba nilalagyan ng title ang isang documents. Okay? So, we have here sa screen ang example, part 4. Yung part 1, yung ORB, organization initials. So, for example, ito ORB, one room businesses. So, for example, halimbawa, kung anong pangalan ng inyong organizations, this is your organization's abbreviation. Okay? Whatever your company department code is, it goes here. So, part 4, yung PR, this is the document type code. So, PR, for example, is procedure. FM, for example, is form. Okay? Yung organizations ninyo ang magdi-decide at magko-codes ng mga document types na meron kayo sa inyong organizations na kailangan nyo sa organizations nyo. Hindi pwedeng gumawa lang kayo dahil gusto nyo lang. So, kung ano yung pangangailangan ng inyong organizations, kayo ang magdi-decide kung ano ang document type code na ilalagay ninyo. Usually naman, ito yung mga 1 to 2 letters lang for you to easily identify kung ano yun. So, yung part 3 natin, yung sequential number, this is from 1 to 2 and so on and so forth. So, hindi pwede na meron kayong procedure na parehong 01. So, lahat yan ay starting from procedure 1, procedure 2, procedure 3, lahat yan ay merong unique identification code. Okay? So, that's the sequential number. So, part 4, the revision number. So, Rev 00, ang Rev 00, ang example ay, this is the initial issue. This is brand new. So, this brand new documents, never been revised. Kaya Rev 00, for example, naging Rev 01. So, pangalawang pang first na revise na siya. So, Rev 02, pangalawang revise na siya. So, ang ibig sabihin lang nun, yung procedure na yun, matagal na dun sa organizations kasi matagal na siyang nare-revise for improvement. Okay? Hindi tayo magre-revise ng documents na nagagamit naman natin siya in actual practices. Maganda naman yung output. So, magre-revise lang tayo kapag merong improvement and kapag meron tayong gaps. Okay? Yung example natin dito sa baba, yung ORV PR01 Rev 00, for example, ay purchasing procedure. So, initial issue pa lang siya kasi Rev 00 pa lang siya. So, yung number 2, yung ORB FM07 Rev 01. So, yung attachment ng purchasing procedure form, supplier evaluation form. So, first revision na siya kasi naka-indicate na sa kanyang title name na Rev 01. And pang ilan siyang form? Pang 7 na siya na form sa iyong documentation list ng mga forms. Okay? So, are we learning? Nagigets ba? Kasi kaya meron tayong document coding convention. You don't need to open that certain documents para lang malaman kung ano yung documents na yun. Okay? Kaya ginawa yan ng ISO. Para from the title itself, you will know na this is the purchasing procedure. So this is the latest version kasi ito na yung Rev 01, for example. Ito na yung latest version. You don't need to open that certain document para lang maintindihan mo, para makita mo na ano ba to. Kaya ginawa yung document coding convention. Okay? So let's proceed to the next slide. Ayan, that's the example of purchasing procedure, for example. So ayan, nakalagay diyan sa monitor nyo, sa inyong monitor, merong ORB. So this is the logo of your company. So from the documents itself, makikita na sa ano yan, sa ORB yan, documents nila yan. So purchasing procedure, dapat may document title, nakalagay dyan yung procedure number niya, yung document number niya. So, ayan. Merong purpose. Bakit? Bakit ginawa yan? Bakit may purchasing procedure? Okay? Merong scope. Anong scope ng procedure na yan? And 3, yung definition of terms. So, naka-indicate dyan lahat-lahat. And then, responsibility and authority. So, sino ang may authority? Sino ang responsible sa procedure na yan? Naka-indicate dyan lahat. So, nakalagay dito sa procedure, ito na yung ginagamit ng mga world-class na organizations. Naka-indicate na din doon sa procedure mismo yung flowchart. Nakalagay na din mismo sino ang responsible doon sa step na yon. At ano yung procedure na yon? Ano yung susundin dun sa procedure na yon? And then yung records attachment to that specific task na gagawin. So this is just as the example. Example lang to. So pwede kayong this is just the example. Pwede kayong gumawa ng hindi katulad nito. Pero importante yung yung purpose, yung scope, yung logo, yung title, yung procedure, yung document number, and sinong authority, sinong process owner. Okay? So let's go to the next slide. Okay, what every document must contain. So dito napapasok yung ISO 10013-2021. This is the required elements of documented information. So ano nga ba ang dapat meron ng isang document? So element 1, title. So dapat may title, dapat may document number, yan yung pinakita nating example kanina. Dapat mayroong issue date, may revision number, so may author, sino yung document owner, approver, sinong nag-approve ng document, authorized signatory, ano yung scope, applicable yung applicability statement, so yung records, evidence of conformance naman. So remember yung coding convention natin kanina, dito pumapasok yan, yung document number. Okay, let's wait. Are we learning? Okay. So itong 8 elements na 'to, hindi pwede na wala ito sa inyong document, okay? Kasi kung wala ang isa dito, magfe-fail pa rin ang documentation system mo, okay? So now na nalaman na natin ang kung ano ba dapat must contain ng isang document. So, how do you actually keep these documents alive, updated, and control over time? Halimbawa, nakagawa na tayo ng documents, we have IMS structure, and nasunod naman natin lahat. So, the question is, how do these documents still alive, updated, paano siya ma-updated, and in control over time. So, creating and complete document is just one thing. So, maintaining it, that's the real question. So, let's go to the next slide. So, ayan, nandito na tayo sa slide. Okay, sobrang dami na na-cover natin. And I have some of you thinking, sige nga, parang may tanong kayo sa akin na, sige nga, paano mo iaano yan? Make sense naman lahat ng sinabi mo, pero paano kami mag-i-start? Okay, I know some of you might be thinking and gusto nyo na kanina pang itanong, okay, nagets namin, okay, we have a few question para lang mas clear, pero paano kami mag-i-start? I know yun yung tanong ng iba sa inyo. So, that's exactly this ISO documentation bootcamp happening on June 20 is face-to-face intensive workshop. So participant will build actual IMS folder structure, core procedure and work instructions, so forms and templates library. So registered on your actual organization's practices, and document master list and full document control system. So workshop includes editable templates package, personal coaching session. This is face-to-face, hands-on workshop activities, and practical implementation guide. Okay? So, the bootcamp exists to eliminate the cycle, okay? Dedicated time only, facilitator guiding you, structured output to complete. So, uuwi kayo ng may bit-bit na IMS structure. So, uuwi kayo na meron kayong dala-dala na documentation system na i-implement nyo na lang and i-align natin sa actual practices ng inyong organizations. So, okay. Let's go to the next slide. Okay. This part is for you na pala. Okay, walang maling tanong dito, okay? So it's already 7:11. You can type your answers, your questions na in the chat box and I will answer it. May mga tanong pa ba kayo? You can ask in the comment section, in the chat box. Walang maling tanong dito ha, lahat sasagutin natin. Mhm. Para maging centralized yung docs, dapat meron kayong isang unified system na nandun lahat ng inyong documents. For example, Google Drive. So, pero kapag meron ang documents ninyo ay para maging centralized sa Google Drive, you just need to control it. Yung sinabi natin kanina, nakokontrol nyo kung sino yung nakakapag-download, kung sino yung nakakakita, kung sino lang yung dapat makakita ng specific na documents. Kasi hindi naman lahat ng documents na meron tayo ay dapat ma-download. Especially hindi dapat ma-download, hindi dapat ma-edit ng mga employee, ng mga tao. Kasi your documents, once your document is official, it carries the authority na. Yun na ang dapat sundin ng lahat ng tao sa organizations ninyo. So, para maging centralized yung documentations ninyo, pwede kayong gumamit ng Google Drive, for example, ng digital system, or yung iba gumagamit sila ng Synology, gumagamit sila ng Vault for the digital system para maging centralized. That specific digital system, maglalagay lang kay yung mga documents na ilalagay ninyo doon, hindi lahat ng employee ay may authority to download, authority to see. Okay? Doon papasok yung controlled system. You are welcome, sir. Pwede kayong mag-start sa small. Ngayon, medyo, this is just, actually, this is just 1 hour. Pero pag training natin ito ng buo, detailed, and mas complete, this is actually kakain ito ng mga 2 days of training. Kaya kami nag-come up sa bootcamp kasi madami kaming kliyente. Usually madami kaming kliyente, mga customer namin na nagre-request na magkaroon kami ng bootcamp para mas maintindihan nila, para maituro sa kanila ng face to face. Ayan, iga-guide sila face to face kung paano mag-start from zero, from scratch, paano makapag-build ng unified system, ng documentation system. That's why we've come up sa bootcamp. This is happening on June 20. Yes, sir. Mas maganda ito sa actual na training. Kasi pinabilis lang natin to kasi this is most requested training ng ibang mga kliyente namin. Because ito, actually, this ISO 10,031, 2021 Documented Guideline System, sobrang haba pa nito, sobrang deep pa nito. So, dun nyo talaga mas maiintindihan at magki-click sa inyo lahat. Lahat ng mga terms ko dito, actually, hindi ko ginamit yung ibang terms na wordings na ginagamit namin in ISO world. Kasi baka most of my audience nga ay hindi ganon ka knowledge about ISO. That's why medyo nahihirapan ako kanina mag-explain kasi most of my terminology is ginagamit ko talaga in ISO world. So, yung iba kong wordings ay pinalitan ko kasi baka hindi nyo siya talaga maintindihan. So, sa intensive bootcamp, mas maiintindihan nyo siya kasi face-to-face tayo. Ituturo talaga namin sa inyo from zero, from scratch. Uuwi kayo na meron kayong unified system, IMS, documentation system. So, saan po pala best department na mag-start i-document? So, yung kanina sinabi ko, sir, mas maganda mag-start ka muna. You need to identify in your employees, in your organizations, who is the best one na i-appoint mo para maging document controller, document control staff. Kasi siya talaga ang makakatulong mo to build your IMS, your documentation system. So, you need to identify muna kung sino. Yes, sir. Need pala natin ng laptop. Okay. Requirements pala natin, sir, if you are about to register to our bootcamp happening on June 20. So, ang kailangan pala natin dito is laptop. So, priority natin yung laptop. And meron kayong Excel and MS Word. Kasi doon tayo, yun yung tatrabahuhin natin.
Ay, may sasagutin lang ako dun sa'yo. Teka lang.
So last 2 minutes before tayo mag-closing. So
Miss
thank you
Lisa.
for showing up pala sa inyong lahat. So sana hindi kayo nainip and sana may natutunan kayo.
Miss Lisa. Miss Lisa. Narinig ba? Narinig ba? Miss Lisa?
Sa mga taong nandito pala ngayon sa webinar session natin, you're the one who protects your team and your organizations kapag nag-start na kayo na matuto about documentation.
Lisa, wait lang. Miss Lisa. Hindi ata ako narinig, Miss Lisa.
Dito ba siya? Okay, Sir Ron, sorry to interrupt you, hindi kita naririnig.
Ayan, narinig mo na ako, Miss Lisa.
Ayun, okay na, sir.
O, yun. Sige. Teka lang. Sagutin lang natin yung ano. Wait lang. Yung... Saan na ba yun? Aha. Yung question kanina, ano yung best department na
Okay.
pwede yung mag ano sa document control? Ayan. Sa'yo, anong recommendation mo, Miss Lisa? Ayan. Miss
Sige,
Lisa?
sir.
Mm.
Ayan, okay na.
Oo. Bali, saang department yung ano, yung recommended mo na sa document control?
Ang recommended department ko na pwede kayong humugot ng employee ay sa admin.
Sa admin. Ayan, tama. Sige, explain ko kung bakit sa admin. Okay lang ba?
Yes, sir.
Sige, sige. Ayan. So, sa admin kasi, hindi siya pwede sa operations. Hindi rin siya pwede sa sales. Kasi, ano maiistorbo yung, tsaka yung admin kasi yung support na department talaga. Doon sa core team nyo. Ibig sabihin yung core department nyo. So, yun talaga yung role nila is to support. Kaya most of the companies, lalo ng mga small, medium, is sa admin yung document controller. Tapos sa mga malalaking companies naman, meron silang ibang separate department talaga na document control. Usually it compose mga 2 to 3 person sa mga multinational companies. Ayan. So, yun, sana nasagot. Siguro mag-ano tayo, no? Last question na.
Last question na lang kung meron
Last,
pa.
kung meron pa. Ayan. Any questions pa sa mga
Okay,
attendees?
siguro parang wala na silang question.
Wala na. Ayan. Ayan, applicable po sa lahat ng department.
Ang alin, sir?
Ano yun nga rin eh. Alin yung applicable sa lahat ng department? Ano?
Ang documentation system?
Yung process siguro, Kas.
Yes. Kung yung process, yung procedure kanina, yun talaga yung procedure sa lahat ng department or sa buong organization. Example, sa admin, syempre purchasing procedure or sa procurement, 'di ba? Purchasing procedure, kung sa sales procedure, sa operation procedure, kung sa construction, ang operations, meron yan marami eh. May operation sa design, planning, parang ganon. Tapos implementation, meron pa yung mobilization, meron pa yung sa implementation mismo sa construction. Ayan. So bawat core or SOPs may procedure. Ayan. Ay, teka
Kas,
lang.
follow up lang dun sa question ni Kas Teomar. Yung yung quality management ISO 9001,
One.
same lang yun na Same ISO lang sa lahat ng department. As one lang yon. Tama ba ako ng intindihan?
Yes, pasok sa lahat yun.
Thank you, thank you. Tama. Thank you ka. Salamat po.
So,
So yung lahat ng ISO system na sinabi natin kanina, it applies to all of your organizations and departments.
ano. Mag-share lang ako para makita nila yung ano. Mabilis lang naman to. Nasaan na ba yung... Yan, kita ba yung screen? Or masyadong maliit? Tingnan lang natin. Ayan. So dito sa amin, ito yung mga procedure namin for IMS. Ibig sabihin, applicable sa lahat yan. So nandyan yung human resource, disciplinary, training awareness, this is outbreak, pati CCTV meron, risk. Tapos pag yung sa quality naman, pag IMS kasi yung pang-applicable sa lahat eh. So yan, may purchasing, account receivable, account payables, logistic, warehouse. So yan, parang ganyan. Okay? E-commerce orders, meron din, procedure, marketing procedure. So, lahat ng process is merong procedure dapat. Para in case na may mawala yung tao na in charge doon, mas madali kayo makakapagpalit ng tao or makapagturo doon sa bagong i-hire nyo. Or kung ba ililipat nyo ng department or ng position yung tao doon, madali lang mag-training. Kasi may procedure na nasusundan. Ayun. Okay na? Ano? Naintindihan mo? Ayun, mas malinaw. Nakita na nila. Ayan. So, ganun yung ano, yun yung example. Kung wala lang, siguro last question, meron pa? Or para makakain na rin lahat, siguro? Any question? Or, wala na lang naman, Lisa, no, na slide. Tama ba? Last na yun. Meron pa?
Okay.
Yun. Sige.
I want to end with this because this is the reframe I want you to take with you. So, a lot of people, when they hear document control, they think paperworks lang yan, dagdag trabaho lang. Okay? Pero kapag naintindihan nyo na, good documentation is not bureaucracy. It is operational clarity. Okay? It is operational clarity. So with that, on behalf of the ISO 10013-2029 training series, thank you so much. So maraming salamat sa inyong lahat, sa inyong oras, sa inyong energy, at sa inyong willingness to learn. My name is Lisa Gutierrez Reyes, and it has been an absolute honor to spend this time with you today. So sana magkita-kita tayo sa booth camp. So, yung mga interested, pwede kayong mag-email or mag-message sa One Room Business Facebook account. So, I encourage everyone na mag-take action kahit small steps lang. Okay?
Picture muna, Miss Lisa, picture.
So, for that, I encourage everyone na mag-open ng kanilang camera. So, Miss Rina will end this training session.
Okay, everyone. Smile for the camera. Okay, one more. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sir Ron, before
Maraming
tayo umalis,
salamat.
baka meron ka pang last words.
Wala na naman and congrats. Okay. Sige, good evening sa lahat.
Thank you, Cas. Thank you, Miss Lisa.
Thank you po.
Thank you. See you in the boot camp.
Yes, see you in the booth camp. This is face to face, so mas maintindihan na natin, mas klaro na.
Thank you so much po.
Thank you.